Ryan, you're on the line with ObjectivelyDan, and I guess I'm still Johnny P. Yeah, Johnny P. How do you reason with the unreasonable? How you doing? How you doing, Ryan?
Good. I'm an atheist, and I find myself in very amateur debates across the internet, as I'm sure many of us do. Yeah. And I struggle truly to find good interlocutors that stick to reason, logic, and maybe even present an argument to begin with. Frankly, I run into this all the time, where it's just a series of claims being made over and over again. And when you point that out and ask for any sort of evidence to back up these claims, it just turns into like throwing your hands up and either going on some tangent or getting angry or etc. You know, like I don't know how to engage with these people. A lot of them are my friends, my family, people I care about. How do I engage with people like that?
Ryan, what I would say, if you've heard of street epistemology, I'm a really big fan of it. And I won't go into the entirety of how that process works because we don't have time for this. But I would look into that. It's a method that I often use on my other show, Truth Wanted, but it's also something that I use in my daily life as far as talking to people about what they believe and why. And it's a great way to engage with people where you can both feel comfortable talking about the subject, where it doesn't feel like you're tearing somebody down or vice versa. And you won't have to pull your hair out necessarily. Like, yes, you're going to hear some things that you probably disagree with, but if you're following through with the method, you should be able to, talk about those beliefs in a way that you could both find something meaningful out of that dialogue. I find that most people really don't change their minds after debates, at least when they're themselves engaging in one. I think there's studies out there that demonstrate that. But I do have hope that street epistemology is going to be a better method for, helping people understand where their beliefs come from and then changing their minds on that topic if appropriate.
Gotcha. And just to clarify, in general, street epistemology is just asking good questions, right? Probing questions, pretty much.
In a sense, it's there are some people that will say, well, street epistemology is just asking questions about beliefs that you're critical of until you get what you want out of somebody. And that's not necessarily true. Like, you can use this methodology on any kind of belief, and you should be able to ask yourself these questions and have other people ask you questions using that same methodology to figure out exactly why somebody believes what their beliefs are. It's kind of like sussing out. It's like with two people blindfolded trying to figure out what an elephant is, and one's got the trunk and one's maybe got the other side. But if they keep talking and they keep figuring out, they can figure out what that belief really is and what its components are. It does take some patience, and it does take practice. It's not really something you can learn in a day. It's a lifelong skill. It's something that I still have to develop. But in my opinion, it's a much better and healthier way to have conversations with people. Like, most people don't want to have debates at the Thanksgiving table, but I guarantee, like, a lot of, at least my family, would rather have a street epistemology type conversation than one where you're all just kind of throwing things at each other.
Yeah, but you're going to have to abandon the idea that you're going to have a decisive victory or an end to the conversation, because it's possible that this is a lifelong or many years long conversation that will never really result. And you might not be the person to be there when that person has an epiphany on a subject.
That's the first principle you really got to understand is, it's not a fight. You're not trying to win a victory here. And most likely you will not change somebody's mind by the end of it, but that doesn't mean that you're not helping them in figuring out their own beliefs and maybe changing their mind later. You're really just putting the pebble in someone's shoe for those kinds of conversations. But look up SE. It's pretty great.
Yeah. And sometimes you just don't want to have those conversations, Ryan. I don't have those conversations with certain family members of mine, actually any family members of mine, because I don't want to say it's a dead end, but I'm not the right person to have those conversations with them. It's just not me. It's going to be someone else. And so I just have to walk away, and let it play out.
If you If you go to my Objectively Dan YouTube channel, the regular one, I do have a talk on it. It's like an hour long. So that's one way you can look at it. Or, of course, Anthony Magnabosco has a lot of videos talking about it too, if you're looking for resources there. And I encourage anybody to go look at those.
Right. So thanks a lot for calling in, Ryan. We're gonna move on. All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for the advice.
Take care.
No problem.